You ain't want to plug in. No?
Yeah.
All right. Pick up from where we left off at. Had technical difficulties. Uh, read that last verse where we was at.
Uh, John chapter 8, and I'll pick it up at verse 15. It says, "You judge after the flesh. I judge no man. And yet if I judge, my judgment is true. For I am not alone, but I and the Father that sent me. It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true."
Two, that's what we're supposed to have. 2 to 3 witnesses. Not just one man. Read.
I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father that sent me bear witness of me.
Cut him to the core. All right. So we know that the law does 1 or 2 things, right? Let's see what it do. What does it do, anybody? Let's see. Let's get Deuteronomy 11:26.
Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 26. "Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse."
So he put them out there. It's up to you to choose. I put before you a blessing and a curse. Read.
A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim,
So if you obey it, the law going to bless you. It's going to be great for you. Read.
which I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments.
So the law either blesses you or it curses you. If you do what he tells you to do, then you're going to be blessed by it. But if you break it, then that law is going to curse you. Read that 28 again.
And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim.
So he says, blessing and a curse. Now we know through Psalms 119, he said that the law is perfect. So when something is perfect, can it be made better? No. It can't be made no better because it's absolute perfection. There's no room for improvement. Right? He said the law perfect. It's the people that ain't perfect. Give me Psalms 119:44. Now pick it up at verse 42. 119:42.
Psalms 119:42. "So shall I have wherewith to answer him that reproach me. For I trust your word.
I do what?
I trust your word,
Go ahead.
and take not the word of truth utterly out of my mouth."
He said the word of truth. What is the truth?
The law.
The law, right? Read.
"For I have hope in your judgments. So shall I keep your law continually."
How long?
Continually.
I'm going to stop it when Messiah get here.
Continually.
Continuously. Read.
Forever and ever.
How long?
Forever and ever.
Forever and ever. What verse you at?
Verse 45.
Okay, we good. Get me Exodus 18:20. Exodus 18:20.
Exodus chapter 18 and verse 20. "And you shall teach them ordinances and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk."
They must do what?
They must walk
Go ahead.
in the work that they must do.
So the work that they must do. This is talking about his laws all over again. Proverbs 6:23. Proverbs 6:23.
Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp.
It's a what?
Is a lamp.
It's a light. Read.
And the law is light.
And the law is what?
The law is light.
So he says, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. So since he said the law is what? Read that again.
The law is light.
So it ain't no law in them. Revelations 19:13. Go ahead.
Revelations chapter 19 verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Elohim.
His name is called the Word of Elohim. This is a Mashiach. He is the law. He was the walking law in flesh. Numbers 15. Numbers 15:15.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 15. One ordinance shall be both for you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourn with you.
So it's one ordinance shall be for both, for you of the congregation, and also for the stranger that sojourn with you. So it's showing you right here that these laws is for everybody. If you join in to the house of Israel. Read.
An ordinance forever in your generations.
How long?
Forever in your generations.
Go ahead.
As you are, so shall the stranger be.
As you are, so shall the stranger be. Read.
Before Yahuwah. One law and one manner shall be for you and for the stranger that sojourn with you.
So one law for everybody. For you and for the stranger that's with you. 1 John 5. So if you look into this, you'll see most of the stoning laws had to do with adultery, had to do with worshiping false gods and going after other gods, both spiritually and both physically. First John 5, pick it up at verse 2.
1 John 5 and 2. By this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments.
We do what?
By this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments.
We keep his commandments. Read.
For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
And then what?
His commandments are not grievous.
His commandments are not grievous. I'm going to be going into this a lot about the commandments not being grievous, because it's a lot of the laws that's being made grievous through men putting their extra spin on it. So, Isaiah 46 and 10. So a lot of laws is being made real hard to do because men is putting extra stuff on it that you can't read in the text.
Isaiah 46, verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning.
The what?
The end from the beginning.
Declaring the end from the beginning. Read.
And from ancient times the things that are not yet done. Saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
So he said he declared the end from the beginning. So in the beginning when he first gave us the law, how did he say that a matter is supposed to be established?
2 and 3.
By 2 or 3 witnesses, right? Let's see. Revelation 18. Revelation 18, pick it up at verse 4.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from Shamaim saying, come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins.
So it's going to be somebody that's going to come and tell you this. And all the way to the end to try to get a way out. Read.
And that you receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto Shamaim.
How far?
To Shamaim.
So the sins have reached up to Shamaim. Read.
And Elohim hath remembered her iniquities.
So you have remembered her iniquities. So you're going to get these chances all the way up until the end. Get me Hebrews 10 and 26.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully, after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sins.
There remain what?
No more sacrifice for sins.
No more sacrifice for sin. Read.
But a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries.
Gonna do what to him?
Devour the adversaries.
Go ahead.
He that despised Moshe's law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses.
So who despise Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. So you say Messiah took away all of this stuff. Keep reading.
Of how much sore punishment suppose you?
How much worse the punishment gonna be? Read.
Shall he be thought worthy, who have trodden underfoot the Son of Elohim, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sanctified, an unkodesh thing, and have done despite unto the Ruach of grace? For we know him that have said, vengeance belong unto me.
Vengeance belong unto him. Read.
I will recompense, saith the master. And again, the master shall judge his people.
He gonna do what?
Judge his people.
The master shall judge his people. Get me 1 Peter 4:17. Almost at the end.
First Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim.
Where does it begin?
At the house of Elohim.
It begins at the house of Elohim. Read.
At the house of Elohim. And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Elohim?
That do what?
That obey not the gospel of Elohim.
That obey not the gospel of Elohim. Read.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinners appear?
Where is the thing? It said the righteous shall scarcely be saved. Scarcely, that means just a little. Read.
Wherefore, let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing as unto a faithful creator.
Faithful creator. All right. You almost give me Revelation 11 and 3. So he said, let every matter be established by 2 or 3 witnesses. Revelations 11 and 3.
Revelations chapter 11 and verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2
He's
witnesses.
gonna do what?
I will give power unto my 2 witnesses.
Power to the 2 witnesses. Read.
And they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth.
3.5 years. Read.
These are the 2 olive trees, and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Elohim of the earth.
Go ahead.
And if any man will hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth, and devour their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed.
Go ahead.
They have power to shut Shamaim, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over the waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the waters and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will.
Go ahead.
And when they shall have finished their testimony,
Their what?
their testimony,
Their testimony. Read.
the beast that ascend out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them.
Who are these 2 people that just got killed? What are they called? The 2 witnesses, right? Read.
And shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was crucified.
Go ahead.
And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
Go ahead.
And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And after 3 days and a half, the Ruach of life from Elohim entered into them, and they stood upon their feet.
So they are the 2 what?
Witnesses.
And now the life is coming back into them. Read.
And great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from Shamaim saying unto them, Come up here.
Do what?
Come up here.
Go ahead.
And they ascended up to Shamaim in a cloud.
So when they went back to heaven, what do you think they told the Most High?
What they saw.
They told them what they saw, right? They was a witness against the people that was doing righteous, or they was a witness against them that was doing evil. So these 2 witnesses, just like he told you, they're going to write everything down. Yep, I told them, I warned them, I did this. He ain't gonna nobody ain't going to go to hell on accident. You're gonna choose to do it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a choice to go. Because he going to give you no excuses to say that you didn't know. These 2 witnesses going to come out and tell you what to do and what not to do. To stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. When they wake up, they're going to go and take the report and tell on you what you've done. Finish that out.
What was that, verse 12? And they heard a great voice from Shamaim saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended unto Shamaim in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
And they did what?
Their enemies beheld them.
Their enemies beheld them. All right. Get me Revelations 14. Uh, 14 and verse 6.
Revelations chapter 14 and verse 6. And I saw another Malak flying in the midst of Shamaim.
So it's going to be an angel that's going to fly overhead, scream super duper loud. Read.
Having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice.
What kind of voice?
With a loud voice.
With a loud voice. Do what?
Fear Elohim.
And do what?
And give esteem to him.
Go ahead.
For the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made Shamaim, and the earth, and the sea, and the fountains of water. And there followed another mallet.
So, again, another angel going to fly overhead, giving you your final warnings of what to do and what not to do. So it ain't going to be no more accident. I didn't know none of this. But Babylon is called a what? A whore, right? So you commit adultery with Great Babylon. So what's supposed to happen when you commit adultery? You're supposed to be stoned to death, right? Let's see. Revelation 16, pick it up at verse 17.
Revelation chapter 16 and verse 17. And the seventh Malach poured out his vial into the air.
I mean, this is the last one. Completion. Read.
And there came a great voice out of the temple of Shamaim from the throne, saying, It is done.
It is what?
It is done.
It's at the end. Read.
And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. So mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided in three parts. The cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before Elohim, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath.
Read.
And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of Shamaim.
What happened? And there fell upon men a great hail out of Shamaim. Read.
Every stone about the weight of a talent.
So the stoning ain't done away with, right? It's going to be done at the end. So everybody that's committing spiritual fornication and whatnot, you're going to still get stoned at the very end. And from these things, it says that this is like 100-pound stones. Read that again.
And there fell upon men a great hail out of Shamaim, every stone about the weight of a talent.
That's the weight of a talent. They say that this is 100-pound stone. Read.
And men blasphemed Elohim because the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great.
See, this is great, and this is exceeding great. The mind can't even really go there, so it exceeds great. So the stoning is going to come back to play right in the end times when everything gets to that point. After the two witnesses come on the scene and tell you that you shouldn't be doing this, that, and the third, then this angel will give you this final warning. And everybody that still do what you're doing, is you chose to do this. So this is what's going to happen to you. These stones is going to fall on you just like it did in the law when you commit adultery. Last script, Proverbs 28:9. This law is everything.
What my be saying, tap your neighbor and say you learned something today.
Proverbs 28:9.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. He that turn away his ear from hearing the law,
Is what?
even his prayer shall be an abomination.
With that, say shall he.
Shalom.
The stoning is definitely not done away with. It's going to come in the end.
That John 8 set the scene for it. Wrote their names as a witness.
Absolutely.
Five witnesses was the Father. Two witnesses wrote their names. Oh,
So it is definitely not done with. The stoning is still here. And it will be carried out in the end. They're gonna come when all of this stuff culminates to the. It's gonna be close to the end. Right before Hamashiach get back, they're gonna be coming. Right. Absolutely. It's the two witnesses, and then you got that last angel that's gonna fly over and tell you, basically those last warning to get right. So again, You know how everybody be thinking about the mark of the beast? Because they think it's a chip. They say, well, what if I be in the hospital and they sneak it on me? You gonna take it. Because they would have take your choice away. The Most High is all about his choices, right? That's why he says, I set before you life and death. You're gonna choose it. So he gonna basically take away the excuse. So ain't nobody gonna end up in there and say that they didn't know.
You'll know.
You'll know. You'll know. And if they saying anything that you think ain't right, you go to Deuteronomy 13. Deuteronomy 13 is the 10 commandments. So read that chapter. If they not saying according to Deuteronomy 13, you will know that they not right.
Biggest thing is, in order for you to know what's what, you gotta know the law. The law is gonna be the whole everything. That's your guide. If you don't know the law, you will get lost. Gotta know the law.
Yeah. So angels really do have wings.
I believe so. Yeah, they do. 'Cause it talks about they having wings. And they covering the mercy seat and all that.
I first came in the truth. That was something I heard. It's supposed to be like a myth, like they had wings. But then, yeah, that part though, I was thinking like, well, yeah,
And it was the cherubim. The cherubim.
yeah.
Yeah, they definitely talking about Mashiach had well.
They
They got
don't
wings.
all have wings though, or they don't have them all the